Right, this is the most powerful Mac I've ever got my hands on, and I'm going to try and make it sweat. Let's just unplug that for a second. This is the brand new 16-inch MacBook Pro. If you want the full specs, it is the M5 Max version, and this one has an 18-core CPU, a 40-core GPU, 128 gigabytes of unified memory, and 4 terabytes of storage, and the simply beautiful nano texture display, which looks like that. I really recommend going for that if you can stump up the extra cost. My words aren't coming out properly because I'm quite excited about this video. It's going to be a very different video, guys, because I could just sit here and review this laptop, but that would be a bit pointless because I'm late to the party with it because so much has been happening. And also, it's a MacBook Pro. It's fantastic. There's your review. What's far more interesting, I think, is to try and make this thing sweat. Try and break it. Try and get it to a point where it says, stop, please stop, because it's so powerful. It's over 6 grand's worth of laptop. I've never had a Mac this powerful, and I've got 3 tests which might break it. This is going to be interesting. Strap yourselves in. Thanks to this job, my desk is full of different devices that all perform different jobs to keep the production process running. But that often leads to one of the biggest pet peeves I have, a messy desk full of cables and adapters. I fixed all of that with one upgrade, the UGREEN Maxidok 17-in-1 Thunderbolt 5 dock. This thing is basically the new command center for my entire setup. You get 17 ports, support for monitors, storage, Ethernet, and, well, basically everything running through one single cable. And it's not just clean, it's insanely fast as well. We're talking up to 120 gigabits per second bandwidth, so moving those massive 4K video files feels, well, instant. However, the real game changer for me is that built-in NVMe slot, which supports up to 8 terabyte M2 SSDs. And that means I can edit large video files directly from that dock, removing the need to wait for lengthy transfers or file uploads. It's brilliant for displays as well. You can run dual 8K or even triple 4K monitors all at the same time. So if you're a serious multitasker or you want to feel like you're working at NASA, it's perfect. Plus, that 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port means I don't need to worry about slow Wi-Fi. If you want a cleaner desk and a much faster workflow, this is the only upgrade you need. Check out UGREEN's full lineup, including the 10-in-1 and the Mac Mini dock, by clicking that link in the description. Right, let's start by getting some screen recording going. So this will be doing screen recording and the other stuff that I'm throwing at it. I have 3 different tests across 3 different disciplines: video editing, audio, and coding / LLM AI stuff, which I'll get to later. So let's start with the video editing side of things and Final Cut Pro. So in here, I have a project with a 10-minute 4K timeline. So if I go into here, you can see we have, if we go into angles, you can see we have different angles for these, and it comes from these 2 cameras here, 4K, 422, 10-bit, it's fairly chunky footage. What I thought we'd do is export it from Final Cut Pro to a really silly codec. So let's go to settings, uncompressed 10-bit 422. Apparently that's going to make a 1.2 terabyte file. Let's go for it. Next, and let's stick it on the desktop and call it Crazy FCP Test. The other thing I'm doing, because I always get told off for this, is for not doing it, is I've got the activity monitor here. So this is going to tell us, if I do it by memory, for instance, we can see what is chewing up the memory the most and how much pressure we've got at the bottom down here. So not much pressure at the moment. It's 16% into that already. I need to be quick with this because the other thing I want to do is go into DaVinci. DaVinci is another piece of video editing software which I don't use at all, but I have the exact same footage in here, and what I'm going to do is export it to, let's have a look, we're going to go to QuickTime's Fine, the codec, let's do Apple ProRes. Resolution, I'm going to set to 7680 by, what is it, 4320, which is 8K, and also advanced settings, I was told to tick these 2 things here for the highest quality, add to render queue, where we are, desktop, and add high, do everything, go for it. Go, rendering in progress, off it goes. So it's doing that. Time remaining. My word, this is fast. Okay, 67%. Final Cut Pro, it's just not touching the sides, is it? What it's doing here is insane already. It's rendering in DaVinci, and it's doing it very, very fast. But it's also at the very same time, Final Cut Pro is exporting to an uncompressed video format I've never used before in my entire life. And everything's fine. And also in the background, guys, I've got Logic Pro running with, I'll come on to that in a second, but that's running. And does it still work if I just press spacebar? Of course it does. This is a Logic Pro project running in the background, and it just plays. You can see things happening there. Let's just leave that playing for a laugh. Fans have come on. Quite loud. Oh, it's finished. It's done. It's exported that thing from Logic Pro. Let's just keep that playing in the background. Why not? I'll come back to Logic Pro in a second. Has DaVinci finished as well? Has that done? It has. It's done that as well. Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's keep trying to break this. So let's go back into Final Cut Pro. Let's create a much longer thing. So let's go for 4 hours. That's a 4-hour project now, which just plays back immediately. No issues there. Just make sure. So I've got the better quality setting as well. Is Logic Pro still doing stuff? Yeah, it's still going. Look at that. It's still playing this humongous thing, which I will come on to in a moment. Let me just turn it. I mean, this is going to sound horrendous. I'll come back to that in a minute. But Logic Pro is still running in the background. It's done those 2 exports without even thinking about it. Is it hot? It's a little bit warm, but not too bad. Let's go back into DaVinci and let's do a similar thing. So let me just copy that, do another 4-hour epic Mark Ellis reviews review. That's done that. So we've got 4 hours in DaVinci now. That's just playing straight away. Let's export these now. So let's go back into Final Cut Pro, and if I go to, it's still playing, stop playing. If I go into export file, settings, and I can't do the uncompressed version now because that's 27 terabytes. So instead of that, I'll tell you what is often quite tricky in terms of it. For some reason, whenever I use Final Cut Pro and export to the Apple device format and set it to better, it does take quite a while. So if we do that, set it to 4K, that's it. Yeah, so this is going to create a 36 gig Apple device compatible. I think it's an M4V file. Next, let's put that on Apple device test. Let's put that on the desktop as well. Background task at 0%. Okay, this is a chunkier output now. What is that doing to our activity monitor? Let's have a look. So on the activity monitor now, bearing in mind, Logic Pro is still playing this humongous project through in the background. DaVinci isn't doing anything at the minute, to be fair. But Final Cut Pro is attempting to export this big M4V file. If you understand any of this, guys, fill in the blanks in the comments section. I think I do need people to get involved in this one. Final Cut Pro is using 20 gig. It's still at 0%. It hasn't done anything yet. Logic Pro is using 8 gig. Memory pressure. We have some green stuff going on here now. Interesting. Let's keep throwing stuff at it. So let's go back into DaVinci, and again, we've got this 4-hour epic. If I do H.264, how big is that going to be? Does it tell you? Let's just do it anyway. Ultra HD, add to render queue, add higher resolution renders. Yep. Render 1, off we go. Rendering in progress. 1 of 1 jobs. Will we run out of disk space? That's going to be the next thing, isn't it? Oh, we have 1% now on the Final Cut Pro export. And in terms of activity monitor, memory pressure, I know nothing about memory pressure, absolutely nothing, but I know some people who read a lot of Reddit threads and contribute to those Reddit threads are fairly obsessed with it. It's there, and to me that looks like it's just chilling basically. And yeah, it's still a responsive system. I can open the App Store, for instance. That's not a very big test, is it? But I can go into there. I can go into Safari, which is conveniently loaded with my website. I can browse. It's all fine, no problem there whatsoever. Don't forget, guys, as well, in the background we still have Logic Pro running. And I guess really, while Final Cut Pro is still at 1% of exporting that file. It's a very big file, to be fair. And while DaVinci is now Is it done? No, it's still doing it. Rendering in progress. No, you can see it's still going through at the bottom. That would have been impressive. Okay, so let's just leave those two massive 4-hour-long epics exporting and turn our attention to Logic Pro. So let me stop it playing. What we have here is a 193 track project in Final Cut Pro. Now, all of those tracks, I think pretty much, not all of them, but most of them have effects. They have plugins against them here as well. I mean, just to make it fair, let's add some more. Let's just do some effects into some of these like this. There we go. We've got a mixture of audio files, as you can see there, but also plugins. So we've got loads of alchemies in here, which is it's all built-in Logic stuff. I'm not using third-party plugins because I haven't really had time to put loads of that stuff onto this Mac, but this is still a very complex project, guys. Trust me, 193 tracks. If I play this back, it's a mixture of Apple loops and AI drummers and you know, just kind of preset MIDI patterns and stuff, but plays back immediately. It's just a demonstration of what you can do here. So that's all working, and why don't I just grab all of that and just for kicks, let's make it even bigger. Let's just keep going. Okay, I've duplicated some more tracks and I'm trying to copy some of this stuff to those tracks, and it is actually, is it struggling? No, maybe not. Is it just me? Maybe it is just me. Okay, let's put them there. Let's actually copy those as well. It's doing a bit of stuff here. There's some thinking going on. It's still responsive though. I can still do that. I can still drag and drop things. Let's just keep making this project longer. Keep going. Remember, at the same time, I've still got Final Cut Pro running in the background, doing its thing. How far's that got? It's still 1%. Final Cut Pro seems to be the thing at the minute that is, I don't know if it's struggling or if it's just a very big job. And we have DaVinci, which is still chugging through this, I believe. Despite that, I can still come into Logic, which is still working. Hit play. Okay, let's export that as well. Let's do a big bounce. So let's bounce everything. Don't burn it to CD, it's not 1997. Okay, and let's just put that in downloads, whatever. Noise, let's call it that. And bounce. Off it goes. That's now bouncing. That may not take that long, to be fair. It's doing it pretty quickly, isn't it? Regardless. Right, okay, let's minimize all that stuff. Let's leave it all doing its thing in the background, so I'm not cheating here at all. Activity monitor, that VT decoder thing is still using 22 gig of memory, then Final Cut Pro, then Logic Pro, then DaVinci. So it's using 93 gig of that 128 gig of memory, which is going to be interesting for this next third and final test. So I'm leaving all that stuff running, and the third test is LM Studio. So let me just quickly put Activity Monitor down there. Now, I had to do quite a bit of research into this one because I'm not an AI developer and I've never done this before. So what I've done is install LM Studio, which basically, in layman's terms, for someone like me to understand, means that you can technically run your own version of, let's say, a ChatGPT kind of thing on your laptop. You can unplug it from the internet and it will still work. The reason it still works is because you can download an entire large language model onto this machine. That is what I did. Again, I did lots of research in terms of which large language model I should download, and I went for the Llama 3.1 Nemotron 70B Instruct, which is apparently custom tuned by NVIDIA. It has 70 billion parameters, which is a lot of parameters, and it's widely considered as the Goldilocks size. So the fact that it is massive, those 72 billion parameters, it was 42 gig as well, basically means it's a very good test for this machine, because it essentially leaves me with a version of, it's not ChatGPT, but it's just easier to reference that, on this laptop. And all of the processing, all of the AI processing is taking place on the laptop. It's not doing anything in the cloud at all. So any prompt I give it is using the resources on this MacBook Pro. So I have a prompt here, a pre-written prompt for me, which is apparently going to kill this thing, apparently. We'll see. So this is called the Infinite World Builder prompt, and it's going to create a 3,000 word deep dive design Bible for a new open world RPG set in a universe where the laws of physics are based entirely on 18th century music theory. Let's get that prompt. So it's not a very long prompt, to be fair, but let's do that. Let's go to new chat, paste, pick the model, the Llama 3.1. It's still doing everything in the background, isn't it? So if I go into Logic Pro, in fact, let's get that playing. So it's doing stuff. You can see it's doing stuff there. So we've got all these things happening. Good stuff. Let's leave that playing. There's a bit of jerkiness there. Final Cut Pro is still exporting. It's still poor old Final Cut Pro. Still at 1%. DaVinci is still exporting as well. So let's run this crazy prompt and see what happens. Off it goes. Let's bring up Activity Monitor as well. So it's doing some stuff. Now, LM Studio, where is that in my list of... Let's look at CPU, shall we? So Final Cut Pro is using the most CPU. Logic Pro is next. Then that VT decoder thing. LM Studio is all the way down here. Although, fans... There's some serious fanage going on there. Yeah, Logic Pro and Final Cut Pro are the two things that are really pushing it still. But it is doing this, to be fair. It's writing it. I mean, is that slow? I don't know. I've got no idea. I've never done this before. But it's doing stuff. It's writing it. If we go back to Activity Monitor and memory, where is LM? LM Studio's using 169 meg. There'll be people in the comments now saying, oh, you're not pushing this properly. You should, whatever. I don't know what I'm doing here. I've gone based on some AI research. So, but to be fair, the fans are going. The memory pressure is up now. It's going higher up. There's more green on that chart, which must mean the pressure on the memory is higher. But we can see in the background, it's doing this chunky AI thing. It's building this thing for me. And in the background, we still have Logic Pro. There it is. Ooh, interesting. No, it's still doing its thing. It's still playing back. If you want this, by the way, it's coming out on the 15th of May. And we still have Final Cut Pro doing its thing. It is a 4-hour video, to be fair. And same thing with, or interestingly, with DaVinci Resolve, that has got further. It's done more of that export of that 4-hour opus than Final Cut Pro. If I go into Finder and Applications, let's open as much stuff in here as we can. Can I just go enter that? Does that work? Oh yeah, I do. Just thought of another test I can do as well while it's doing that. So it's opening everything. Every single app. Look at this. Everything's going. Oh, whoa. It's opening so many apps. How hot is it now? What's that? It's opened a game of chess. Look at this. so many apps open. While it's doing that, if I go down to Logic Pro, is Logic Pro still playing? Is it playing? Yeah. And it starts and stops straight away. All those meters there, they seem fine. All these jumping icons at the bottom. If I go into Final Cut Pro, it's got to 2% now. And if we go into DaVinci Resolve, it's still going. Okay, let's now go into Safari. Let's just keep opening tabs. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just open loads of tabs from my website. So if I go into reviews, let's open that in a new tab. Let's open that in a new tab. Okay, loads of tabs open now. I can switch between them. I can browse. I can go back to that YouTube video, which is still playing quite happily. That's all good. Let's just minimize that. I mean, again, just to prove this is all still running. Oh, there we go. Is Logic Pro still working? System overload. I've killed Logic Pro from the looks of it. But if I click OK on that and come back here and hit play again.
That might get lost when applying the...
Who's that? Stop talking. How do you make it die? And again in the background, that's now playing. And we still have DaVinci exporting quite happily. Final Cut Pro 2%. Oh, and the LLM, what's that doing? LM Studio has finished. Do it again, but make it 8 million times bigger and more impressive. I don't know what that means. It's doing some stuff. It's going. Where's the activity monitor? Where is the activity monitor? There it is. We have memory pressure, still not that bad. We've used 116 gig of that 128 gig, and CPU wise, still Final Cut Pro, still Logic Pro, all that stuff running. Okay, what is the conclusion to this video? It's pretty simple, isn't it? If you buy a £6,000, $6,000 16-inch MacBook Pro with the M5 Max chip completely maxed out and with the 128 gig of unified memory, you won't be able to make it sweat. Trust me, if you think you can, if you've watched this and thought, what on earth is he doing? He's not doing this properly. Get involved down below. Tell me how you would make this thing sweat. It's sweating now, I know, but who does this? Who does that? No one. It's a ridiculous test, but it's been a lot of fun. In the real world, if you think you could max this thing out, just let me know. And equally, if you need this kind of power, what on earth are you doing with it? Get involved. And if you haven't hit subscribe yet, you know what to do. This is insane.